going on YouTube? It's your boy Kales.
Just in case you forgot, my name's Miguel Perez.
And he had to wear the muscle shirt today.
I had nothing else. So, but you know, you're talking about
He's trying to show off. That's
you're
what
talking
it is.
about going to the gym the other podcast. You know what? I think I am going to start going to the gym. I think you got to live a healthier lifestyle. So
Absolutely.
I'll even challenge you.
Don't challenge me. I'm too young to play this game with you.
No, let's do a challenge, man. You know
what do you want to challenge over?
Biggest loser type challenge, dedicated. You know, something to come up. I don't know. But it just helps me
do
be
the
like,
most push-ups?
It'd be more like I got to beat Kelton, so I got to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? So I competitive that way.
You're just a little older, so you're not gonna recuperate as fast as I
way
will.
Older, but you know.
Well, I didn't want to say that. I was trying to be nice, but you know what? You're an old man. You're super old.
But yeah, but you know what?
You make Frank look young.
I could still pass as young. Last night somebody guessed my age at 33.
Yeah, I resemble that age.
Last night somebody guessed my age at 33, and I was like, yeah, baby, I am.
I'm almost 30.
I went with it.
How did you get away with that?
Hey, but
it was a dark room, wasn't it?
No, it was a good room, but
it was a dark room. It definitely was dark.
So, but we're here at
20 years ago.
Airplane Studios with Frank. Hey, let's give a shout out, Frank.
Howdy, folks. Good to hear you.
Again, if you want to make a podcast recording, Kelton can help you with that. And also, if you want to record a song, hey, we got Frank here doing a wonderful job. Matter of fact, he just shared a piece a little while ago of one of his recording, which was awesome. And if you like what we've been talking about, please subscribe, like, and put a comment. You know what I'm saying? We want to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Give us topics and give us what you think, because I know not everybody agrees with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, those things that are contradicting what we're saying or those beliefs that are completely different than us, that's what we're here for. That's what this podcast was originally designed for, to talk about different things between two separate generations and really discuss those hard focal points. So if you really have something that you feel you want to say to us or talk to us about, hit us up in the comment section, send us a message on Facebook. We will make something happen. And even if you live locally here or you want to fly down, that's on you. And you want to come on this podcast and really say your opinion about it, as long as we can have a proper discussion, let's make this happen. It doesn't matter to me.
We have invited a few, and I think I've gotten a few acceptance on the invitation. We just got to put our calendars together.
Yeah,
set up an appointment.
It's timing issue. And
timing issue. Get it all together, and I have some real exciting guests. They're gonna be very vocal, very opinionated.
That's fine,
which is good. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine. As long and we just want to have a debate. This is not about arguing with each other. This is about hearing the other side's opinion, hearing their point of view, and they can change our point. We may change theirs, but either way, we're gonna have that discussion as long as we can keep it cordial.
Talking to Caitlin, which she's really enjoyed the podcast. She told me. But she said we're more man-orientated. Well, yeah, we're men.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're guys.
We're giving the man's point of view, you know what I'm saying?
I saw that coming.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we're not women bashing, but we're just showing our point of view on that.
And that's one thing that I could say right there that just proves, and this is just my opinion, but that proves that sometimes women just don't see our side of things as what it is. We're not trying to, be bashful against women. We're not trying to discuss and be like, women are horrible. No, we really don't feel that way. Our opinions aren't as heard as a woman's opinion whenever they're expressed to a man.
Yeah, you know, I've watched a lot of videos, and women are way more expressive about how they feel about men than men feel about women. You know what I'm saying? Men got to be careful and stuff.
But, we know if we want to be in a relationship, we have to be to some extent very cautious of what we present and what we say, because
that's going to be trouble for me, because I'm very blunt, very upfront, very real. Yeah. You know, and it's good, because that's just the way I
just say what comes to mind. I don't think about it.
but you know, our goal is not to women bash. I love women. I want to marry one. I'm looking for one. I'm shopping.
I really hope so. But, just saying.
You know. So it's just the opposite of what people might be thinking.
That.
I didn't catch it. You mocked me? What's up?
No, I was saying I hope you want to marry a woman, not a dude. That'd be
weird.
No,
that might be your generation. Between the two generations, the latter one or the ones that are more, Bud Light type people.
Well,
you got that. You caught that, right?
Hey, you know what's funny about that?
What?
I know that this is going to be really... Oh man, people are not gonna like this being in the podcast, but
don't give them my email.
But man, that was funny. That was actually hilarious how bad that their sales dropped.
Oh, big time.
It was crazy. I'm just like, wow. If you're gonna present something, present it to the correct group. You're talking about Bud Light, Budweiser. You know, whenever you think of that, most people will think of like rednecks, backwoods kind of guys, and I don't mean that to be. kind of mean or anything. I mean that's genuinely what most people think of whenever they see someone drinking Bud Light. Why would you put those people that probably aren't as tolerant to that kind of stuff,
very little tolerant,
like more conservative base? Why would you put that in their face and expect them to be okay with it? I mean, there was a what was it, a bar that actually shut down all their Bud Light sales and all their Budweiser sales, anything Anheuser Busch, anything of that nature. They literally had to return it and no longer would carry it because of nobody was buying it. Why would y'all do that? Like
it's getting bad. A lot of country singers took it out of their shelves. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the baseball, football stadiums said Bud Light sales are just boom empty. Not doing anything.
Yeah, freaking Chris Rock. That was the funniest one.
That was good.
That was the funniest one. He's like, I'm sure y'all seen that video. If not, y'all should look it up. But he just took an MP5 to it and started shooting all their cans. I mean, me personally, I was like, that's like one of those things where you buy their records and then destroy it. Like you already gave them money. That's not very smart. But it was just a funny publicity
stunt.
But
the message, it was good.
It was hilarious to me. I was just like, hey, and that band's kind of hard to really piss off because
you're not gonna be able to, how they call that,
recover.
No, not recover. I'm talking about Kid Rock. What they don't like when somebody does, they try to. Was that what I'm looking for? Blackmail. Not blackmail.
Blackballed is correct.
No, not blackball. When they try to discredit, when they don't like somebody, they discredit them. What is it called? The woke does it all the time. I don't know. It'll come back to me here in a little while, but nevertheless, I mean, there was a lady that came on and she said that it's real dumb how people are pushing back because that Bud Light has always been a big supporter of that movement. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, well, it's not that.
They've never been open about it.
Yeah, it's like that. You want to do what you want to do, that's you, but don't throw it in my face. And the problem is they threw it in everybody's face.
They forced it down
exactly.
people's throats.
That's the problem. If you want to go and make out with your man closet, that's you. But then you want to get in public and start doing it, that's when I have a problem.
I don't have a problem if you're doing it in public, but don't. My biggest thing is don't put it in my kids' lives because that's my job. And my second thing is don't sit here and try to force it down my throat in any way and make it seem like it's normal whenever.
Yeah, that's the if
you believe it as normal, then that's your normal. Because if we're going to get into the definition of normal, there's no such thing as normal in reality. There's no your life of normal, y'all's lives of normal are completely different than what we perceive each other wise as normal. So don't push that down someone's throat and say, well, you have to accept this. You don't have to accept anything. Now, am I gonna sit there and say I don't like you anymore because of this? No, I have friends that are on so many spectrums of that deal. I don't care. I don't have any problem with you believing in what you believe in or you doing what you want to do. That's your job to figure out what it is that you want to do. But don't sit there and force me to have to play with your ideology. I mean, that's cool. You believe that, and I'm not gonna sit there and discredit you. Just leave me out of it.
Oh, is that your phobic? It's not as a phobic. You know what I'm saying? You do you. I was talking. I'm not gonna judge anybody. And the word
it's
judge.
Not my job.
And the word judge is very overrated these days because people don't even know what really they're talking about when they say, you're judging me. No, only a judge can pass sentence. Number one. Nobody else here can pass a sentence. Only a judge. So, but there is such thing as observing the fruit, seeing what you're putting out there. And if I don't like it, I'm going to say it. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying I don't like it. There's a big difference. So if they want to do what they want to do, hey, that's between you and God. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not saying you're going to hell as a result of it. I'm not saying that, hey.
That's not our position to put
I hate you or you're this or you're that. I don't like it. I'm not going to do it. And, you do you, but don't come to my face and say, oh, it's good, it's right, it's okay. No, that's a whole different level. You know what I'm saying? That's what I have a pet peeve with.
And that's why, and that's one thing that I don't realize that people don't understand. Like, it's not our job to accept your reality. It's your job to accept your reality. If you're having to force that on me for me to accept it, then maybe you haven't accepted it. Yeah, maybe that's something that you need to talk to yourself about. And I don't mean that to be like you're a horrible person. I'm not trying to attack you by saying that. I genuinely think that you're willing to do everything you want to do. If that's what makes you happy, that makes you fulfilled in your life, by all means do it. Cool, amazing, I'm happy for you, but just you don't have to involve me in it. You just don't.
I'm not going to encourage anybody to do it. I'm just saying if you do it, that's you.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I don't have no problem with it.
Just don't come telling me it's good, it's right. And right now, the bad thing is that you're not pushing it on our children now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why I said leave my children out of it.
Yeah,
That's
you think
my
with
job.
Target, their freaking boys sections look like girls section.
Yeah.
And man, it's just getting to the point where like it's like being shoved out. That's why Bud Light made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
And they're coming back saying it wasn't a campaign deal. They just did those specific cans. Doesn't matter. You just freaking appeared to like you were doing it, and that was enough.
And it's okay to support people. Just there's things you have to support, and you don't have to express your support to everybody. It's just like you do a good deed, for instance. Say you see a guy sitting on the corner, struggling financially and in life, and you decide, you know what, hey, I'm gonna take you over here. I'm gonna take you to a truck stop. We're gonna get you showered up. I'm gonna get you some trimmers, get you trimmed up, get you a nice few sets of clothing. Let's hopefully like put you in a position, maybe get you a job or something of that nature. Try to really actually help that person. You don't have to tell everybody you did it.
No, even the Bible says, "Don't let your right hand know let what your left hand is doing." You know what I'm saying? Truly, if you do, truly, that's the only reward you're going to get. But let all things be seen by God. You know what I'm saying? So, when I do stuff for people, I don't know I did this, I did that, and make people so I did it because I wanted to plant a seed and help them.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's good to see that things like that, good deeds being done, because it makes you like believe more, and the humanity isn't so far gone.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like it's just one of those things. You don't need to do that. You don't have to. If you're doing it for that reason, then that's problematic. Just like if that's why I have a big problem with social media. Everything is just so overly done.
Overly. And that's not even the topic for today.
Yeah, no, we went way left ball on that.
We went a bit on that, but
I guess it's just that's our rant for the day. That's our rant for the week, I guess you would
that's
say.
Our rant for the week.
Enter the moan zone.
So what do you think about it, Frank? You've seen the changes over the years, our generation and this guy's generation over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why you got to point fingers?
I want to make sure that I don't want to get any bad emails either. But I'm just going to say I'm glad I'm not raising kids now. I'm glad mine are done. I'm very happy with them. I'm blessed by them. But they're comfortable in their own skin, and that's the best gift I can have. And
absolutely.
Whether they realize it or not, that's one of the best gifts they can have as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess my opinion on that, I don't agree with it. I'm heterosexual, but I don't persecute. It is not for me to be on this planet to persecute. So even before the gay rights movement and all that stuff, and the progress they've made on that field, I never persecuted, never hated on that. That certainly is not biblical. I know that people throw the abomination word, and there's all kinds of interpretations of the Bible and where God stands on homosexuality and how he seems to consider that deviant, and he makes no bones about it as well. But in my situation, I already knew as a kid you don't persecute. That God is the judge. As Miguel says, you got to be qualified to be a judge, and he will be the one opening the book on me someday. And I don't want him. He's the homosexual and God. They have a dialogue. I would hope, and I don't put nothing past God. There's nothing that he can't do as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
But all I know is I'm not here to persecute. Now, going on beyond that, if I have a tiny rant, yeah, they've worked hard. They've got the gay pride parades. They really have worked hard to get some equality. Now they've got some federal equality. And that's a good thing. I don't really think anybody should be persecuted. But now that they've got to the mountaintop, it seems to be like there's some momentum. And now they're like, where do we go from here? And I want to tell them, anywhere you go from here is probably going to be a mistake.
Yeah, it's like they haven't had enough.
Right. So now it's like I don't want my nose rubbed in it. I've always been tolerant, and even today I'm likely more tolerant because of conditioning these days.
Mm-hmm.
But frankly, when I had my children around, it didn't matter who was doing an overdone public display of affection. Okay, whether it I guess I'm going to admit, on a molecular old school level, it makes me a little bit more uncomfortable to see same sex doing that. But anybody doing that in an inappropriate place is inappropriate. So, if you've got your equality, let's act like it. Okay? Let's show some restraint in public, like heterosexuals are expected to do as well. You want equality? Dig it.
Well, I don't even like man and female being public space affection.
That's what I said. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like it's unfortunate.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like, man, dude, get a room, as they say
right,
back in my day. But
for
men
man.
and women to do it themselves, that's above and beyond me. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't think it's right,
man. I like the idea of being able to show my affection towards my woman in the way that she deserves, and I also want.
Don't do it in the fashion that my kids are going to ask questions of me.
Well, yeah,
though.
that's understandable, I mean? But there's a time and place for it, obviously. But like for instance, if we're at a bar and I'm just feeling my girl and we're really in some sort of excitement. I'm not saying being sexually excited. I'm talking about being intimately excited. Being able to sit there and just love one another and be on each other and really just hold each other and kiss and whatnot.
I get that, but I'm not going to bring my kids to a bar.
Exactly. That's why I said there's a time and place for it. But see, like doing that, I love that. And then another thing is women actually love that. They love to be shown out like that. They love to be shown how much they're being loved. They love that crowd. They really do. It's very surprising.
I say just hold her in the hand, but yeah, get a room, man. Come on, learn how to act in public.
No,
that's me again. Again, you're a younger generation, and
they love that. I'm telling you, women over the years to be treated that way because then that shows that to everybody around them. Not only is the man not single, but also the man is in love with that woman, and that makes other women see that. It kind of makes a jealousy kind of thing, but at the same time, it also makes them feel more secure.
No, I disagree. I think okay. Let's from a father point of view. My daughter's husband, whatever the case may be, and we're out in public, and he's all over her and stuff like that. To me, like, dude, don't be displaying your woman like that. Don't be doing that. That's your wife. You're right. Y'all afterwards you're fine, but don't be in front of people and grabbing her, kissing her, whatever the case may be. But to me, you don't.
That's why I said intimately. Intimate doesn't mean that
intimate is like real. Intimate is even deeper than just a kiss.
Yeah, but that's we're not talking about. That's why I said not sexually. I'm not talking about grabbing her butt, grabbing on her private parts of any sort. I'm talking about more on the lines of just grabbing her by her waist and dancing with her and enjoying life with her and kissing her while you're dancing. Or even taking a step further, being like, about a kiss. She's sitting on your lap and you're just holding her and you're loving on her. While you're at the bar and you're both drinking your drinks, you're both sitting there talking, and you're literally right here. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I mean.
I'm talking about the makeout because I've been in places and two men have got together and they just went at it, and I'm like, what the heck? Then I've also been in places where I'm sitting there and a couple they go at it, and I'm like, man, I just don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? That's not my world. I want to eat. I want to enjoy. I didn't go watch freaking
time and place.
G-rated porn.
Now here's the thing: if you go to a bar, and this is just my personal opinion,
and this is at a restaurant, by the way.
If you go to a bar,
regular restaurant,
yeah. If you go to a bar and you're not wanting to see that's your own fault for being at that bar. That's normally what's going to happen at a bar. People are going to be really connected. No, they are now.
I expect people to behave at a bar too.
Act right. At your age,
people are drinking. You can't expect that.
I get you a teenager, you're excited. You never really experienced, any type of intimacy, and you go excited. Now, I could actually give it to them, but an adult, a bar.
I'm not talking about fornicating in a bar. I'm talking about kissing, making out, stuff.
Yeah. It's like, why would you want to do that? You know what I'm saying? It's like you act like you never had it before. I give that teenager that's never had it
for you then.
But
a real question.
Adult,
I got a real question for you on that. Then. Okay, if you're not worried about what everybody thinks about you, why would they be?
That's different. That's not whether you like me or you don't like me. This is how I'm carrying myself in public. You know what I'm saying? Some people carry themselves in public in a very disrespectful way. Yeah, I'm gonna like it. It has nothing to do with them. Yeah. That's what we were talking about, liking people like me or don't like me. Yeah. That's a different story. But now the things that I'm doing,
they're doing something. They don't care about what you think about them in that situation because they're doing what they want to do.
Exactly. But see what I'm saying? But the point is, liking it or not liking it, I don't think it should be being done in public places. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm just gonna have to agree to disagree on that one.
I've seen arguments break out because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're doing it. It's disruptive. It's like, dude, get a room, as they say. And this and that. And well, who do you don't like this and next thing you know, a fight breaks out. You know what I'm saying? I just think at an older age, at your age, act like. And I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about you say you're with your woman, you're dancing, you're having a good time, you give her a kiss, that's practically fine. I'm talking about y'all in the corner and going at it. What the hell, man?
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying being intimate versus being sexually, trying to be sexual in that.
All right, if you're swapping spit for more than 10 seconds, get a room.
Yeah.
I mean, if you actually have to have parameters, I give you.
I guess that's
I don't
agreeable.
Like a heterosexual couple. I really don't like a gay couple doing that. I just don't want to see it.
Yeah.
And it's your world, you live in it. But don't bring it into my world. And that's the problem. People are bringing it to everybody's world.
Well, it's not just the people either. I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I mean, just over the last couple years, um, commercials, the media, people's representations have realized how they're representing us, and I mean, the grassroots people. I see that the representation of the LGBTQ.
I wouldn't have been able to say that
right. I stumble with it as well. I don't mean that mean. It's just I don't use it that much. So to those out there, there's no offense intended. But now, see, it's demographically. I don't mind gays or races or anything when they're represented demographically. We've got demographics here in America, and there's ratios to gay, to straight, to all sorts of things. And when they're represented in demographics, I don't feel like they're trying to shove a message down my throat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not talking about the message. I'm talking about the shoving. Okay, and I see that over and over and over. And I see, little kids now. I've got a grandson, and when they're showing people on prime time, males kissing and talking about a great HIV drug, I just, I guess sometimes I don't feel like, or it's inappropriate to handle that question right there because that question's coming, pal. Yeah. So if it's in demographics, then I could explain it that way. But I have a hard time explaining it when it's totally overblown from the demographic base. It's overemphasized, and I don't think that's doing any.
When it's being shoved down your throat, it's different than being just shown. There's a big difference. I can see that, and I agree with I agree with being able to sit there and say, hey, no, this is me and this is who I am, and I don't care what you think. Cool, good. I'm happy for you. Enjoy your life the way you want to. That is your judgment. You're dealt with. All that is on you. You can do what you want to do. Now, is there repercussions for reactions? There might be. I don't know. That's on you to find out, not me, because I'm not living your life. Just like I do dumb things that comes with consequences. It's for me to deal with, not anybody else. And so that's where I follow in that ideology of I don't care what you do, as long as you don't do it to me, and as long as you're not hurting other people, I don't care. That's your business to do. But as soon as you start creating issues with other people, as soon as you start forcing other people's to believe in your ideology, like forcing them and spoon feeding, you have to.
That big old
that's where that's a problem.
They dumb pronouns. I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, I'm non-binary, crazy, whatever. I don't know. I don't even know them, but I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I mean, that's unheard of in my day.
I leave that one alone because I'm sorry, I don't play that stuff. I really don't, because I don't even understand it. So how am I going to sit here and do it correctly?
You want to act that way, fine. Don't tell me it's right, because I don't think it's right, and that's my belief, and I'm going to stand on it, and I'll tell you why. And if you want to believe it's okay, then that's fine. That's you. But now you're telling me I have to call you this, or I have to acknowledge this. No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? That's what bothers me about it.
You want to know something that I think you'll like here? Is that the biggest reason why I don't agree with the they them thing? I want you to call me they them. Only time before this situation that we have a historical backing bias of any sort that says they them was referring to demons.
Yeah.
And so in my opinion and what I see in the world, I'm not gonna play with that. This is just not gonna happen. Now, you can hate me for it. I don't care. I'm not here to please everybody. I'm not going to. I'm gonna love everybody as who they are. I don't care what you do with your life. I don't care if you end up jumping and skydiving and hit the target just the way you want to. That's your business. That's the way you want to live. Cool. But don't force me to be involved in it.
That's and it doesn't mean you hate them, because I don't hate these people. I don't hate anybody. You know what I'm saying? That's not my life. That's not the heart or the spirit that the Lord has given me. I love them just as much as I love my friends, my family, any individual. but just because I'm not going to agree that this is okay, and that's the problem. It's not so much because you disagree now you hate them or you're afraid of them. It's like, no, that's not it at all. I just don't agree with that. Just like you don't agree with me, but it has nothing to do with me disliking or not liking. You know
it's just like someone disagreeing with, if like they the alcoholic thing. If someone disagrees with people drinking alcohol, it's the same concept. Well, that doesn't mean that they hate that person for drinking the alcohol. It just means that they don't agree with it. It's not something that they like, so they're not going to sit there and be involved in it.
Yeah.
Well, something else I see, there tends to be a new way of arguing now, right? So like I was listening to you, like it's okay, like I don't agree with this. I'm not going to say it's right. This is my belief, okay? Was a time when it's okay with that. I don't persecute. I don't want to treat somebody unequally. I don't want to stand in somebody's way who's trying to make it. But again, just like we're saying, I'm allowed to my belief. So, I get into this chat with, and I won't anymore, and I just don't. But if I was to get into chat with a social warrior, social justice warrior, it'd be one of these things where, well, I don't really believe it's right, okay? And they're saying, so you hate gays? Well, no, I've got a studio. I can back up the tape. No, didn't say that. Didn't say that. Got the proof. Okay, now what? Right. So this new way of arguing, to where if I share a belief, even if it's, I don't really think that belief is controversial.
But conclusion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're not on one side, you're on the other side.
Don't put words in my mouth. That's not how you debate something. That's how you start wars. Okay. Yeah. I don't think it's right, but I'm not going to stand in your way. Like Kelton's fond of saying, your thing is your thing, right?
Yeah.
But don't sit there and say, okay, well, you're an LGBTQ hater. Well, I'm not.
Just because I don't support you does not mean that I'm against you.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that I hate everything you're doing.
Don't put words in my mouth. If you can't debate, let's drop it.
And you can have an opinion on it, and you don't have to either.
Like you guys.
Okay, this is a big one. Like here, it's a big one. I heard it the other day. It's like men getting pregnant. That cannot happen. I'm sorry. It's not ever
give them time,
Miguel.
Give them time.
But now it's like it's men get, and then they talked about a man having their period, and they want to put the Kotex in the restrooms.
They were putting that stuff on. They were putting that stuff on these girls that are okay. So there was this commercial about I guess people having periods, and there was guys there, and they're like, men have periods too, and I'm like, no. First of all, no, that's not how that works. But here's the thing: if you're literally taking away from women that way, I personally see it that way. If you're sitting here saying that what makes a woman, the greatest part of them is being able to, and I know this sounds kind of sexist in a sense, but one of the greatest things that women can do is procreate. That is something that men cannot do. We're not ever going to be capable of on a actual biological level, and that's what makes a woman so special too. It's something that they're able to give life back in this world. That is such an amazing thing, and women were at a point in time worshipped for that. But now you're going to take that, men are taking that away from women, thinking that everybody can do this. No, dude, you're taking away from these amazing people. Why would you do that?
Bible clearly said he made them male and female, male and woman. Woman, biblical definition is man with the wound. You know what I'm saying? It's like it cannot happen. And I don't care how much you're pushing it. It's getting up to the point where it's in the Congress and stuff like that. And they're wanting to say, hey, this is a deal. And they had a PM the other day where this man was trying to breastfeed his baby. And they're talking about him latching on. It's like, dang, ain't going to happen. You know what? They're destroying these kids. It's just so much going on right now. But, I'll stand on the word. You know what I'm saying?
And my opinion is my opinion. I mean, if you don't, just like I said a minute ago, if you don't support us, that doesn't mean you're against us. And I'm not going to ever say that you are, because I personally, I don't care. I mean, as much as I want to love everybody, that doesn't mean that I'm going to support everything you do. But I can still love you from afar and let you run your own race.
We got to care to some degree, because right now, one of the big thing is these transgenders. Now they have rights to go into females' restroom. Okay. I'm going to have a big problem if my granddaughter or our daughter's in the restroom and my man tries to walk in here and say, hey, well, I identify as a woman. I don't give a damn. You're not going to go to the restroom. I don't care if I get thrown in prison or jail. That ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. And that's where it's getting to the point.
The only man in that restroom with my daughter is going to be me.
So it's like, you know what? That ain't going to happen. We're going to have some trouble. But it's getting to the point where people are actually getting in trouble legally because they're not letting these men go into the women's restroom.
Listen, I identify as an ass whooper, and I will have no problems putting my hand on anybody that wants to hurt my daughter or my son in a manner like that. I'm just going to say that as it is. But here's the thing. I don't believe every person is like that. I think that there's a lot of them that are, but not every single one of them. I mean, it's just like, that the thing is one bad apple doesn't make them all bad. Yeah. There's always one bad apple in the group, and that doesn't create a whole ideology of everyone's like that. That's a stereotypical kind of thing. That's not very true, but at the same time, like.
Well, I'll also give you another point. I don't think that movement is as big as the media, social media is making it sound to be. I don't think it's nowhere near it because it's 1%, less than 1%.
Yeah.
Again. However, the media makes it sound like because I live in Amarillo and I'm up and down all day, going everywhere, going to places, and I think I've saw but one person in the last 100 days that actually was a trans.
I don't think I've ever met a transgender.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't.
They're making it sound like they're in every corner.
I've met a lesbian.
Again, it's that
emphasizing.
Emphasizing.
I've met, all the, most of the grouping, I guess. But I've never met a trans person like that I'm aware of. And if I did, I didn't care. I moved along with my day. Didn't even acknowledge.
I mean, when I first met Kelton, he had his hair down. I kind of like, but.
I said home when I saw that man bun. I'm like,
hey, that was a funny day. I scared. Like he thought that I was a girl in the office one day, and he's just like, "Who are you?" And I turned around. He's like, "Whoa, not what I was expecting."
A manly woman there. Did we go that well?
It's because I look good.
Because he has that long, crazy hair. If you've never seen it, it's long and it's
very curly.
So
you see him from the back, you're like, huh?
Let me ask you guys a question.
Go ahead.
Either one of you been to a gay wedding?
Yes,
never.
I have actually.
And have I? I'm glad somebody else here has. I'm feeling self-conscious. My son had a buddy of his, and we got to know him, and he was a good kid. And so by proxy, we ended up getting to know his parents, and it turned out his parents were both gays. And through years of knowing them, man, they were they were paid their taxes, kept the law, never caused any problems. Eventually, they gained my respect for just being decent people. And when they asked me to attend their wedding, I bought clothes and I went. And they, so that's the other side. We can talk about all this, but
I'll tell you why I have issues. Okay, for number one, a wedding is a very biblical principle. It comes from God. It comes from church.
I struggled with it,
and it's God's blessing on a couple, male and female. Okay, so for a woman and a man and a man to get married, it doesn't make sense because God's never going to bless that marriage. Yeah. So, and the purpose of getting married is to have God's blessing on the home. Okay, right. Number two, as a person going to a wedding, you're standing there as a witness of the covenant taking place before God. So people get married to have God's blessing and is right before the Lord. So it doesn't make sense for a man to get married to a man, a woman to get married to women when they don't believe in the things of God. That degree, it's a mockery. It just doesn't make sense. Why do it? Because it goes against God's word, and so are you. But you want His blessing? He ain't never gonna do it.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, yes, as a bystander, I could see that being problematic, but at the same time, like, my job is not the judge. My job is not to be in that position of saying you're doing wrong, because I'm doing wrong at all times. If you're doing wrong at all times, it doesn't mean I should tell you how not to do it. So if it comes down to the love thy neighbor thing, where if you want to do it that way and you want to live your life that way, if it's against the Bible and it's against God's wants and needs for you in life, that's between you and God. I'm gonna support you to an extent to where I'm gonna show you love. I'm not gonna sit here and treat you badly because of that. I don't care, for one, to sit there and step in and say you're doing wrong. Two, that's not my job to do so. As a friend, I can sit there and say, hey, I don't think that this is the best direction. Maybe, that might be in a stitch, but if you're trying to marry someone, that's not my job to tell you whether or not to do so.
Okay.
That comes down to a woman and a man, a man and a man, and a woman and a woman. I don't care. That's your business.
Loving thy neighbor. It has nothing to do with not loving your neighbor. I love my neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Now, agreeing, I don't disagree. I know the biblical principle behind it. But if you're gonna get married, there's really no point. But you could do whatever you want. That's between you and God. I'm just saying on the biblical again. And second point, you're being as a witness. You're giving your blessing. So to me, to attend a gay wedding, is me saying I bless this marriage along with the covenant. I'm never gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Doesn't mean I hate them. I just don't agree with it, and I'm never going to participate in it. And by me participating in it would be agreeing with it, and I'm never going to do it.
And that doesn't mean I hate you.
Yeah,
I mean, my gosh. I mean, I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
you stand by your beliefs.
I have
the struggle I came to at that point was Jamie, who was the young man, my son's best friend at the time. I wondered, I could explain all that till I'm blue in the face, but I wondered, how would he feel? In the end, I made the decision for the young man.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed my support because he's a fine young man. He grew up great young. But I don't know. I might have to answer to God for that someday. It was a judgment call I made. I hope I made it in discernment. But Miguel, I struggled with it.
And I'll say I'm not one that's never been put in that position because I know a young lady and your family very good. She was married before. All of a sudden, she decided that she fell in love with this woman and they're going to get married. I got an invitation. I didn't go. She didn't get mad. She kind of already knew that I was not going to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She knew where I stood. I didn't disagree. I think it was wrong. However, I mean, that's between you and God. You know what I'm saying?
But you two still accept each other.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give my blessings, and I'm just, she knows. She don't have a problem with me. She's not mad. She's not angry at me because she knows how I feel about her and she knows where I stand. I'm not going to compromise it. You know what I'm saying? But there was actually absolutely no static between
and that's just that's just about standing behind your beliefs, and that's what they're doing whenever they create that situation where they want to get married. They're standing behind their beliefs. They should respect you.
I don't know. What's odd is because she told me herself, I know this is wrong, but the other girl wants to do it. So she's just wanted to please somebody.
Okay,
which herself knew this is not right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, if you admit to it as it being wrong, then that's somewhere where you now have.
See, on that point, Frank, you made an emotional decision. Hey, I don't want
I did.
I don't want the guy to feel bad and stuff like that. For me, it's like I'm not gonna go on emotional deal. I have to stand on this principle. It's just the way I am.
I respect that.
And I'm not saying you're wrong or right. I'm just saying, for me, that's position I've been put in before, and I won't do it. And it's just.
But that's your opinion. That's your beliefs. That's your structure right there. So if you believe that way and you want to stand behind that and in the way that you believe, that's good for you. That doesn't matter what anybody else has to say about it. Just like these people that are gay and they're doing whatever it is they want to do, they want to stand behind that belief. I want to be a trans. I want to be gay. I want to be whatever. That's good that you stand behind that belief. Good for you. But at the end of the day, like, everybody's not going to accept you.
Yeah,
everybody's just not going.
And that's the problem right now. It's not so much they do that because since the beginning of time, they were sin. It was sin. It was obedience. That's been around even back in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah.
There's nothing new under the sun.
It's not new. Okay, what is new is it being shoved down your throat, accepted as right, and you got to be good. That is new. Like, no ifs or buts about it.
I don't think that's new. I think that's just more
back in my day,
because of the capability of communication. Now it's able to it's be communicated quicker, and so now you're actually visually seeing it versus that it never happened. I don't think that's true. I bet it happened at some point.
The way it's outright right now has never.
No,
but that's
seen
the ways of communication change. So obviously you see it a lot more. You see it faster, and you see it right then.
I just saw a video just the other day. Guys, like, I got fired. I got fired from my job because I told them I was a Christian, and the majority of the staff is homosexual, and they found out I was a Christian, and they walked me out. and said, we don't stand by your hatred speech here and what you believe in. And he got fired. He goes, and you know what? Okay, I'm not going to change my mind. Yeah, I was like, what the heck? But that's what happened. That's what I'm talking about.
That type of mentality is not right. Because if you want me to accept you, then you should be able to accept me. I mean, that just comes with the territory. If you're going to try to force me to believe in something that's against what I believe in and I mean, I hate to say this, but, the LGBTQ, I hope I said that right. The community, they're they're a minority. So for you to want us to accept you, you have to also understand that if I'm not going to accept you, there's a possibility you're not going to accept me. And we just have to get over that. I mean, it is what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it comes back to the same thing I said a minute ago. Just because I don't support you does not mean I'm against you and does not mean that I hate you.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? And people saw that, don't preach to me, don't preach to me. I don't preach to me. You don't want to hear about it? I'm not gonna play. You want to talk about it? I'm more than open.
Yeah.
But don't do it to me either.
But there's a lot of people that like that try to force it. So and I've been around that enough where I've seen it. And I'm just like, just stay over here.
Just like the wedding topic we had a little while ago. Somebody got into it with me about it, and I told him this. Where I said, no, but you're on it. Just try to convince me otherwise. I was like, no. I said, if you believe that way, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but don't try to convince me that it's okay because I'm just never going to see that because I stand on what I've learned. It's the battle. They don't want you to push on them, but it's okay for them to push on them. No, it's not. You know, don't do it. Don't push if you don't want to get pushed.
Yeah.
You know, if that's you.
Exactly.
You know,
that's why I say
between you and God.
Period. That's why I tell people in every opinion that people have, dude, you can believe what you want to. I don't care. That's on you. That's between you and the creator. That's basically what it is. And if me personally, I don't care what you do as long as you're not hurting me or other people, and as long as you're doing it in your own little area. As long as you're not hurting people and as long as you're not creating problems, I don't care what you do.
It's like my kids.
That's not my job.
My kids have they have a relative through their mama's side that is gay. Mm-hmm. I've known the kid since he was little. Always very respectful on me. He knows who I am. He knows how I care about it. He always respectful. Always says yes, sir. Never does anything that he knows that would be her problem. I love the kid. He's a good kid. You know what I'm saying? But that I appreciate. You know what I'm saying? And he appreciates me not being on him, and I won't. Because your family, we're here having a good time. I'm not gonna, point. Don't get in the picture or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, your family, I love you. I've known you since you were a kid. You know, I'm not excited about it, but I'm not gonna condemn you. I'm not gonna hate you, and I'm not gonna treat you different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then vice versa. He respects me. Always carries himself right. Never does. Hey, he didn't even want to drink in front of me one time. Like, it's like, hey, you're old enough. You do what you want.
Yeah. And see, that's what it comes to. It's just mutual respect. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to sit there and play this game. You don't have to sit there and discuss everything. If they don't want to hear what you got to say, I mean, that's cool. And if they don't want to hear or if you don't want to hear what they got to say, then that's cool too. It shouldn't be a contest. It shouldn't be a conflict of interest there. I mean, if you want to believe what you want to believe, you believe that. That's on you. That's between you and whoever it is that you believe in.
Yeah, no, and I don't know why we talked about this. This was not the topic that we chose to talk about.
And I'm not gonna lie, I've been very terrified to have a conversation about.
I know
this
I've been like eager
what's gonna happen.
Yep. I'm kind of eager to talk about these things.
These things have a life of their own. Sometimes.
Kelton wants to hold back a little bit. I'm like good, but I'm glad.
It's out of the way.
I'm glad you talked about it. I'm glad we talked about it. I gave my 2 cents about it.
In the end, discrimination is discrimination, whether it's reverse discrimination. Two wrongs never made a right. So if we're going to tolerate, let's let the tolerators tolerate. Exactly, let's just be tolerant.
Let's love each other and move on about our lives, no matter what. That's what I think.
Frank, as always, did a wonderful job. Thank you for coming on the show and your input. My name is Miguel Perez, Education for God, and this is
Kelton.
We'll see y'all next week. God bless you. Comment, subscribe. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Godspeed.